There are a lot of ads opposing Proposition 112, and many of them, like this one, are alarming.
Proposition 112 is effectively a ban on oil and natural gas in Colorado.
112 will cost thousands of good jobs across our state.
Alarming and true. This ad features President Obama's former Secretary of Interior Ken Salazar and former Republican Governor Bill Owens. Opponents also include environmentalists like former Democratic Governor Bill Ritter, who heads up the Center for the New Energy Economy at CSU. He wrote an op-ed warning this is a keep-it-in-the-ground effort, arrived at in a very non-Colorado way without dialogue or debate by a group of advocates. He agrees with the State Oil and Gas Conservation Commission that 112 would ban fracking on at least 85% of non-federal land in Colorado, where the vast majority of drilling happens. The industry won't fold overnight. 112 impacts new drilling only. But over time, with no new permits, companies will leave and take jobs with them. The group behind 112, Colorado Rising, claims it would not be a ban, but can only point to one paper by an assistant professor at the School of Mines that included big caveats and has since been debunked by his colleagues.
112 won't make it safer out here or anywhere else in Colorado.
That's true, according to extensive research by the Colorado Department of Health and Environment. Scientists have reviewed 10,000 air samples and 12 epidemiological studies. They've set up mobile labs in communities near drilling sites and collected more than 2,000 hours of air samples over the last 3 years, measuring more than 60 chemicals used in drilling from within 800 feet of well sites. They haven't found any elevated health risks based on federal and state guidelines so far. They are continuing their research. Proponents claim out-of-state analysis shows otherwise, but researchers at the Department of Health say that analysis is hypothetical, not scientific, and compiled by groups with an anti-fracking bias. Here's the other thing you should know. Most of the land where drilling would be banned under 112 is not where people live. The measure requires setbacks not only from occupied buildings, but vulnerable areas like dry creek beds, irrigation ditches, or any area deemed vulnerable by state or local government. Finally, this does nothing to reduce the risk of explosions like that in Firestone because, again, it only applies to new wells. The Firestone incident was an abandoned well that hadn't been plugged properly.
We'll take billions out of support for public schools, impacting teachers and students directly.
Again, this is alarming but true. The Colorado Department of Local Affairs said oil and natural gas contributed $839 million to schools in 2015 and 16. On top of that is revenue from state trust lands. The Colorado State Land Board says if 112 passes, it will eliminate $230 million in school funding over the next 3 years from those lands. Then there's taxes that go into the general fund and are allocated to schools. We are talking about billions of lost revenue for education. Bottom line, make no mistake, this is an effective ban, and it would take an enormous financial toll on the state, while, based on research by the state health department, doing little to nothing to improve our health and safety. Governor Ritter said in his op-ed, it's not dialogue, it's an up or down vote, and not the way we do business in Colorado. I'm Sean Boyd. That's Reality Check.